Me. Hi all, good morning. Okay, so quickly, how is the day? It's good actually. I'm in Bangalore today, so it's cool climate out of Bangalore, and we just working with a client in US, expanding their base in India in AI. So
Okay.
we are hiring a lot, predominantly at a senior level, but I see a lot of action happening on AI hiring in India now from global companies.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's good to know. So we'll just dive in a minute. So Shravan, how shall we take this? Do you want to kind of get going and then I take over, or do you want me to kind of just set the context and then we get going from there?
Yeah,
Anything work?
maybe set the context and also any pointed questions or anything you want me to cover. I'm happy to talk about it.
Okay. Um, so so yeah. So what I'll do is yeah. So I'll share my screen. Okay, and I'll talk. Let's get going. Okay. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Good morning. I'm Vijender, and I'm the founder and CEO of Alumnx AI Labs. So we are primarily working in the data science AI/ML space to kind of bridge the talent gap in this space, right? Help people kind of figure out how to build a career in this space. Help people to kind of upskill and get more industry ready so that you can get access to some of these opportunities, right? So that's why, again, to kind of get a better understanding of how it works on the hiring side, we've invited Shravan as well. Thanks, Shravan, for joining us. Shravan is a GCC recruiter for AI roles. For those who are not aware of what GCCs are, basically they are global capability centers. Did I get that right, Shravan? Is that
Yeah,
correct? Yeah,
yeah,
great. Yeah. So GCC is a new phenomenon which has come in India, wherein companies earlier used to outsource to Infosys, TCS at their IT projects, but now they're setting up in India themselves. Correct. So that's why you'll see Novartis setting up this 3,000 member team in Hyderabad, and then again a lot of these companies setting up big like Goldman Sachs, right? So a lot of these companies are doing that. They're setting up their own IT hubs, and they and the staffing is very huge, correct? The staffing is very huge. It's literally Goldman Sachs. Shravan, do you have any rough numbers in terms of how many typical GCC can have, like Novartis or Goldman Sachs, like in thousands, right?
yeah. It's 1,000 to 3,000 or some. So yeah, for example, Lloyd's Bank in Hyderabad, if you know, I think
Yeah,
last 1 year they scaled up 2,000 headcount in Hyderabad.
correct. Correct. So these are in thousands of numbers, and that's why you can't just hire them. So they take the help of specialists like Shravan, who kind of are in the space. They are actively in connect with good talent, and they help these GCCs ramp up talent. So it's an upcoming area where again you'd have the Google and the Microsofts and all, but they have for themselves. But GCCs are an upcoming space, and it's important to understand how the hiring happens there, what are the criteria they look at, especially when they hire at scale. I think Shravan should help us get a lot of those insights. Okay. And I would encourage all of you to feel free to ask questions. Okay. So it's not every day we get someone like Shravan, on our panel to help us ask questions. So again, I also have a lot of my own questions, so I'll come with them. But I would like you guys to kind of take a lead on that, right? It's important to understand, a lot of people just say, think, I just put my resume out there. I'm not getting jobs. I can some of the questions I can show, it's been a year. I've not got anything. Correct. So you need to be more structured in terms of how you need to approach this. And definitely there are opportunities. People like Shravan, I've been speaking to them, and they say that, it's difficult to get good talent sometimes. Right. So, I mean, it's not that there's no talent. It's just that there's no proper channel, or the preparation isn't up to the mark, right? So again, we'll talk about a lot of this stuff. Let's get going. Thanks everyone for joining. And what I'll do is I'll just quickly run through a few slides which I have. Okay, I don't want to bore you guys too much from my side. Just like 10-15 minutes, I'll talk about some of the stuff I have to share. based on my experience, and then I'll hand it over to Shravan. Okay, and then we will have a quick quiz, okay, a fun quiz. I thought we'll do it at the start, but then I think we'll have it towards the end, right, Shravan? Okay, so it's just a Kahoot quiz, so just for fun. So we have it in all our meetings. So okay, so just to set the mood, keep it light. But anyway, let's start. Today we'll change it. We'll have it towards the end. Okay. So let's get going. I'm sharing my screen here. Okay. I hope all of you can see my screen. Thumbs up, please, if you can see my screen. Yeah. Okay. Great. So this is Vijender. Okay. I've already introduced myself. Shravan, I've already introduced a little bit, and I think he'll introduce himself again. This is primarily for those who are kind of laid off, switching careers, or just out of college and want to figure out what to do, how to get into AI, ML, data science jobs. What are the skills the startups and companies really want, and what is it that you need to do to get going? Okay, so so again, quick intro. Again, I just wanted to share this with all of you. 1 second, let me stop sharing it. Put this down. So this is a hackathon which we participated recently in Bangalore, and we won one of the categories. We won 50,000 in one of the categories. The reason for sharing is just to say that I'm not one old guy sitting here trying to kind of just conduct these meetings. I actively participate in events. I actively try to see what's going on around. I actually coded for 30 hours in this. Okay, so that is more about it, not to show off or anything, but just to say I'm not one of those boring guys who will just come and give yarn. Okay, I participate and I believe in sharing what I learn. Okay. So next thing is why is it okay? Let me just. I think there's some background noise. Somebody's. So please mute yourself if you're not speaking. Yeah. Lokesh, can you mute yourself, please? Yeah, okay. I think, yeah, Lokesh, you can also mute yourself. Okay, cool. Let's get going. So I hope I'm audible, right? Yeah, am I audible? Just thumbs up, please. Audible and screen is visible. Thumbs up. Yeah, okay, good. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I'll just be brief. I'll just talk a little bit about from my perspective, and I then hand it over to Shravan. So why is again staying updated in AI is important, right? AI is literally transforming every industry, right? Like pretty much everybody is seeing the benefits of AI. I know people are talking about what will they replace the jobs and all that. That's a separate discussion. But the point is AI is introducing an element of efficiency in a new way of working. Correct. Simple example I'll tell you. We were speaking to a leader from one a big company recently, and it's a construction company, and they are using AI to understand their customers better by if it's a construction company, they sell cement and all that, so they want to kind of just survey the area, like the various areas where their customers could be building something, correct, using satellite imagery. And then if they see somebody is trying to build something, they try to understand their their local demographics and everything better, and try to target them, right, even before the competitors get through. So again, other areas are chatbots, right? They want to understand, build chatbots. They want to do sentiment analysis, right? So AI is again not is about enhancing the way we build applications to improve productivity, to improve analysis. So another classic example I'll give is the agriculture. So we won the hackathon, right, in one of the categories. The reason why we did is because we are able to use AI in a very efficient manner. Okay, so 2018, I worked with the agriculture sector in the AP government, Andhra Pradesh government, but back then the AI is very nascent, right? But it was more of a rules-based AI, right, if I may say, correct? More programming-based, workflow-based. But today we have the real AI, which can dynamically understand a lot of things and give insights, correct? So that's the difference. That's where transformation is, and that's where the future, I believe, will have a lot of need for people in this space. Okay, so it's important that you understand what are the trends, where do we see jobs, and you kind of push yourself. So one thing is, you don't really need a CS degree, a computer science degree, like traditionally people feel you need a CS degree, or if I'm not in the core, then I don't stand a chance, right? So there's nothing like that. So I just wanted to share one slide also here. So I'll move to the next one. Okay. Okay. So I just wanted to share this particular slide, right? So this is an opportunity posted on LinkedIn by a friend of mine. It's from my college. The startup is called smallest.ai. This is actually coming in the newspapers also. Okay. So this startup founder says that, he doesn't need, like, if you can see, he says college does not matter, resume does not matter. You see the last two, right? So he's offering a 1 CR, opening. And he says, I don't care which college you're from. I don't need your resume. Just show me what you've done. Correct. In fact, he's saying to apply, send a 100-word text introducing yourself plus links to your best work to info@smallest.ai with the title "Cracked Full Stack Lead." Okay, and I'm sure all of you know why he wants you to use that title, right? Because that's also automated. Okay, so it's all automated to get directly into a central repository where they can analyze. Correct. But again, that's again AI. A lot of AI is coming in everywhere and improving productivity. So just wanted to focus a little bit more here. So this guy actually has openings at his startup. It's a very fast growing startup. It's a very, very, advanced stage. These guys are competing with 11 labs, all that. So if anybody's really, believing that they're good, that they're really good, don't worry about your college. Don't worry about even resume. Just send your email there or send your email to me. I'll share towards the last. Okay. And I can forward it your resume. Okay. So that's what it's about. That it's a level playing field. Gen AI is a level playing field nowadays. It doesn't matter you're from IIT or you're not from an IIT or you're from an NIT. It doesn't matter. What matters is, can you dream big? Do you have the willingness to work hard and make things happen? Build projects, keep doing stuff. Okay, so that's what it's about. So another thing I wanted to talk about is a recent trend that people believe vibe coding. Correct. So people believe, they use one of these vibe coding tools, build some web app, and they publish and say, I just was able to build something. So that's great. A lot of people believe that they don't need programming anymore, right? Because ChatGPT generate code. I just wanted to kind of, again, call it out here, since if somebody is interested in this, a lot of Gen Z folks, believe that coding is no longer important, right? Let me give you a reality check. These tools, even coding assistants like Claude and ChatGPT, they help you write code, but there will always be a time when you'll be stuck. Okay, so I'll tell an example. What happened? I had a friend of mine who's a M&A expert. Okay, so he's a very rich guy, investment banking level. So he wanted me to build a website for him for M&A, mergers and acquisitions, right? So it's a marketplace for investors and businesses. So when he approached me, I said, I don't have time for you, right? I can't build an application. So, but he said, nevertheless, I know you have a lot of these vibe coding tools, and you have a lot of these youngsters who can just build them. So he was offering me good money, so I got a little bit greedy. So I said, okay, let's do it, and I hired 4 interns, college interns. So what happened is, we built the project till 70%. It grew really fast. Within 2 weeks, we had everything ready, and the client was impressed. We were impressed, and it was going great. But after that, of course, M&A is a little bit of complex logic will be there, right? Various, nitty-gritty finance stuff. So after that, at certain points, it got stuck, right? So the interns weren't able to move forward because ChatGPT wasn't helping them. ChatGPT wasn't understanding what they wanted. We used Claude. We took paid subscription of Claude. We did all sorts of stuff, but nothing was moving. They had 4 interns on my team, and it wasn't just moving. And then I realized that I have to get in. Then I got in, and I figured out, I don't have that much time for it. So I could really get into because already when you reach 70%, it's a lot of code, right? So you have at least around 5,000 lines of code already there. And I don't have the time to sit and look at that. So that's when it hit me. Again, later on, I had to, debug it a bit more, spend a lot of my time. It was a reality check. And it's not the only time. That's one example. In several other projects of mine, I've realized we get stuck at a certain point. So it's important to understand what you copy from Claude or ChatGPT and paste, guys. Okay, you should know what is it writing. You should understand the structure, because if you're stuck, trust me, if you're a college project, it doesn't matter. But when you're in industry and you have to deliver something, the expectation is that you better deliver it, right? If you come back saying, I don't know what I wrote, then you will be a very sorry state of affairs, right? Because the pressure is high, your job is at stake, correct? So that's why I wanted to put this slide. I know AI careers and all, this is part of it, right? Learn the basis of programming, know what you're writing. Whenever you're copy pasting, understand what you're doing. That's important, guys. AI tends to be productivity enhancement tools, not programming replacements, right? They don't replace your programming skills, okay? So this is something I tell to everyone, because I have extensively used AI assistants, because we code a lot, we build a lot of applications, and I share this from experience. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So what are the core career paths in data science? Again, you have ML engineers who kind of actually build the models, right? You have these guys who build and train models. They use Python, sklearn, TensorFlow. You have data scientists who analyze the data, right? So once the data comes from the field, like so agriculture data, you get weather, rainfall, weather, rainfall, and pest and disease insights. How do you analyze them? How do you build a model, right? So an ML engineer can't build a model just like that, right? He needs some insights from the data scientist to tell, okay, I analyze this data, this is how we should build a model, this is what it should do, and all that stuff, right? The data scientist is a business guy. He connects that, what does the business want? What is the problem we are solving? He should be clear on that. And then translate and use the data. He should say, I want this data, right? He gets the data. He kind of analyzes and passes it to ML engineer to build the model. That guy is a core tech guy. So data analyst is pretty much a data guy, right? I know it's fancy term, but it's pretty much data, dashboards, reports, everything. AI product manager is for product managers who are equipped with AI knowledge. Researchers are typical researchers. ML ops is the guy who builds models, correct? So nowadays, again, you need to not only build the model, but also you need to deploy it, correct? So deploying the models is important. Can someone tell me why is it important to deploy the models? What's the big challenge about deploying models? Anyone? Do we really need an ML ops engineer? Anyone wants to talk to it? I don't want to make it sound like I'm the only one talking here. Somebody want to throw some insight. Why is it important to have an ML ops engineer in the whole thing? Can an ML engineer not do that himself? Anyone who has some perspective? Yeah, somebody wants to talk to it. Anyone? Why do we need an ML ops engineer? Yeah.
Primarily, the ML ops is very different from ML engineer, because ops is majorly about like taking care of the deployment, and also like managing the system and scaling it to a bigger scale.
Correct.
But building the AI system is entirely different.
Correct. Good. That's good. So, again, why is an ML ops engineer important? The deployment is important, right? See, some of these models, right, they can be huge, right? How do you build? How do you deploy them, and how do you scale them, right? So traditionally, if you look at it, right, can someone tell me in a traditional AWS environment, like if you have one EC2 instance, right? So how do you kind of scale it, right? How do you kind of scale it? You kind of use horizontal scaling, right, or vertical scaling, correct? So horizontal scaling is you have more machines, correct? But if you are talking of ML, right, in the AI and ML space, some of these requirements in terms of GPUs can be enormous, right? You can't simply say, I'll just get one more big GPU server, because each one costs like several lakhs of rupees just to rent it, correct? So, roughly, I think some 800 or some mid-level GPU costs around 16 lakhs if you rent it from AWS. So that's the cost we're looking at, and you just simply can't increase the machines, right? You have to be very prudent. How do I optimize it? How do I make sure that I cache the requests, right? So sometimes you can't help it, right? I know you're getting a lot of requests. You just have to hold on, right? So if you remember the Ghibli art, again, how many of you have used Ghibli arts? Can just, from ChatGPT, thumbs up. You use Ghibli. It's called Ghibli art here. So most of you have used it, right? So you might have seen that, after a certain point, they said, we are taking more time to process your request, or, not right now, stuff like that, right? Because you just can't scale it up. It's so expensive. So that's why ML ops engineer is important. And the whole stack of each one of these is important to play a different role, correct? So again, if you look at it from small startups, right? Small startups don't have these separate roles per se. You might have ML engineer doing ML ops, doing data science work, doing data analyst work, also doing product manager work, correct? So small startups, you might have to do everything, correct? So that's why if in very large companies like OpenAI or stuff like that, you have clear-cut roles. Each one focuses and specializes in that. But in small startups, you might be expected to do everything, correct? So that's why it's important to work on projects and do everything yourself, okay? So a lot of times I see when I conduct interviews, right, for mock interviews or for interviews for jobs and internships, I see people just doing a local host, correct? So they will do the entire project, everything on local host. If I ask a simple question, do you have it deployed? No. Do you know how to deploy? No. Then who will teach you that, right? The startup won't teach you that. So that's where they get stuck. So it's important to build and also deploy, guys, okay? So when you do that, you're actually doing all these roles, okay? So key takeaway, make sure you are doing everything. and see what you really love, and that's where you can specialize. That's how it works. Okay, if your company is giving you an option to specialize in one particular area, you can do that. But when you are building, don't say I want to be only ML ops engineer and only focus on that. Try to do everything. Okay. So are there no other AI careers apart from these 4 careers? No, I am coming to that, Harshit, right? The next slide has it, right? So these are some of the high level broad areas that you see pretty much in JDs. Okay. So apart from this, you have some new age AI careers emerging, correct? You have something called prompt engineers. So companies are hiring prompt engineers specifically for how you optimize your prompts, correct? So I'll talk about an incident recently. There's a developer in my team. We were supposed to build deep links. Okay, so he's kind of, I thought it would just be done in 30 minutes, and it kind of 6 hours, and then still he was struggling. So I just solved that, by just giving him prompts over WhatsApp, right? I said use these 3 prompts sequentially, and that's it. In 15 minutes, it was done. Okay, so that's the power of prompt engineering, because they say, what is the new language for programming, guys? Anyone? What is the new language for programming? Anyone? English. Yeah, that's right, Harshit. Is the new, no, not Python. Location, it's English. English is a new programming language. Yeah. So in my case, I'm telling you, I just used English on WhatsApp. I didn't even see the code, and we solved it in 15 minutes. Okay, I'm not kidding. It's very powerful prompt engineering, but you can only do this when you have a solid understanding of the code base, correct? I also was able to do it because I understand the code base. Okay, so RAG architects are another specialist which is kind of coming, but these are all very specialized roles, and very few companies have very specialized roles of RAG architect only, right? Typically, you'll be explained to everything. So it's retrieval augmented generation systems where you're building chatbots, generative AI developers where you build applications, the application layer built on top of this APIs of GPT, Claude, and Gemini and all. Then you have data curators, cleaning high quality training data, really specialist, right? Where you have really a lot of unstructured data, correct? Then you have agentic AI builders where people are really specializing in building agents, right? So some companies really focused only agents, so that's where they are. But again, most of these are are very specialized, right? But again, just wanted to bring it out so that when you hear this, you know what they're talking about, correct? So coming back to Harshit's question, are there no other AI careers other than careers, something full stack development divided by AI application development? Yeah. So that's it. So again, full stack development, again, see, when you're building applications, it's not that you don't use any other technologies apart from Python, right? So we built an aggregation application built on front-end React, correct? So you don't need to use Streamlit always.
Vijender, can't hear you actually.
Guys. Okay, so projects.
I'm also facing the same issues. I think he has some network issues.
Okay. If you are Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. Am I back? Am I audible now? Okay.
Yeah, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So sorry for that. I think the Wi-Fi just got disconnected. No clue. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Where was I? So what I was saying is, yeah. So yeah, I think I somehow missed the flow of thought, but yeah, it's important to do the hands-on. So yeah, I was talking about this thing, guys. A lot of people do just like projects for the sake of it. Like I was interviewing someone, and he says he uses AI model for tuberculosis detection, right, using just cough, and with 97% accuracy, and there is no basis, right? I mean, they just give some ridiculous supporting evidence. So I mean, those are the ones. It's a missed opportunity, right? When you build projects and you're in the interview stage, you make it matter, right? You build good projects. So that's why I feel it's important that you kind of choose your projects wisely and build ones which are really practical. So when you work, like again, it's like driving a car, right? If you know how to, if you read a manual versus actually drive, right? So if I would ask, where is the clutch, right? You know it, right? If you drive it, it's on the left or the right, right? So that's how it is. So let's move on. You can see my screen, right? Yeah. So what recruiters look for, I think Shravan will talk a little bit more. But Gmeet pop up. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So is it okay? I just put it out here. So is it okay now? Okay. So what it is, recruiters look for real world projects. Okay. Clean GitHub profile. So sometimes I get asked this question from freshers, right? I see a lot of this happening in colleges. Mostly companies come for SD roles. They don't come for AI, ML, data science roles. Correct? You might have seen it in colleges. So a lot of these guys who are in these data science, AML roles, they move and learn SD, or they get into other stuff like SAP or ABAP and all that stuff. So the reason why it happens is because startups feel that colleges, the students in colleges are not equipped. They don't have the depth. They just do the localhost projects. They don't have depth, and you ask them a little bit deeper, they don't know. So what's the point? Why do I waste my time? Correct? Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Pretty much relatable, right? Understandable, because we are a startup ourselves, and I don't have that much time to kind of experiment with colleges and see which college knows, which college does not know, and all, right? So we take the safe bet. So what people are doing is they're kind of hiring senior folks and giving them Claude, ChatGPT, and making sure things get done. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible. Yeah. Okay. Next, clear communication of AI concepts. Having concepts is extremely important. Resume that shows outcomes, your projects, and then course completion. I mean, not just course completion certificates alone. Okay. How to choose your career track? I've already told you. These you look at them. What interests you, you follow them. Your 30, 60, 90-day career roadmap. Again, 30 days, learn Python, GitHub, basics of ML. 60 days, build some real projects. 90 days, apply for internships, press freelance gigs, and participate in hackathons, guys. That's the best proof of validation. Okay. So we do have some queries from the participants. I'll probably, I'll leave it for Shravan. Okay. So maybe let's just hear from Shravan, again, a little bit, and then we'll probably come back to these questions. So Shravan, do you want to get started with a little bit of insights from your side in the GCC AI hiring space and other insights, and then we'll come for these questions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. So quickly, hi folks, Saturday morning, and a lot of insights from Vijender. So my name is Shravan. I am a founder of a company called Talent Rubric Growth Advisors. Earlier, I was heading Geo, and I've set up 2 to 3 GCCs in India. Currently, I'm setting up one AI GCC, New York-based AI GCC in Pune. Along with that, I'm helping few Bay Area-based deep tech companies and biotech companies, few industrial AI companies. So we only deal with AI companies for now. We establish AI companies in India. I have another guy from MIT on the board. So we work with the founders. We work with the founders on pre-IPO readiness, launching the companies, and also helping the talent, senior talent mostly. But I think Vijender and we had a conversation, and he said, hey, why can't you just, help the students or, someone seeking a job, give some insights which may help them. So yeah, I thought, okay, let's do my part. While Vijender is helping a lot of you in terms of upskilling and giving you a lot of market insights. Lot of energy Vijender has. Okay, cool. So quickly, I think I'm assuming I'll start with, because most of you guys are entry level, though a lot of this information is available on the internet, but I'll still talk about it. So GCC is Global Capability Center. Basically, if you are from Hyderabad, Microsoft was the first enterprise company set up in Hyderabad. We used to call IDC, India Development Center. Then slowly that nomenclature changed to the captives. If you see Bank JP Morgan in Hyderabad, they used to call captives. Then slowly there is a new term has come, global R&D. Then now we are talking about a global capability center. So how we are addressing has changed. How the work is earlier, if you look at 90s, maybe a lot of work which India used to get or maintenance work in software, right? Also, when in your if you had any brothers or anyone, 10 years, 20 years ago, maybe there was a boom on call centers. India used to be, epic center of call centers. Then that's how slowly things have changed for us. And now you see global capability centers. We are not anymore doing some maintenance and support work out of India. We are actually doing the R&D work out of India. You pick up any company from LinkedIn to Adobe to Microsoft, there's a lot of the global R&D work getting done from India, right? So, in fact, if you know Stripe or the global fintech, they acquired one Indian company 4 or 5 years ago for reconciliation. Okay, like that, a lot of global companies are trying to acquire Indian companies. They see that there is a quality of talent. And the other reason people are also setting up in India is wider access to talent pool. I think there is always, narrative that India has a population, which is true. I think we have, in the world, we have a lot of young population, and also who are actually good developers as well, passed out in engineering and all that. So it's easy to ramp up quickly because things are changing day by day. By the time I sleep and wake up, I see that there is a new AI model launched. Just to catch up what is newly launched, forget about me learning. It is taking at least an hour to see what is something launched yesterday night.
Yeah.
It is that pace it is going, right? So things are changing rapidly. So I think there's some things you just need to tweak if you're a fresher. See, I'm talking from the perspective of, because I was heading HR for a few companies. I was part of Bank JPMC earlier. I was in Hyderabad few years before. So I worked for startups. So this is maybe like 8 or 9 startups I've scaled up from zero. Okay, so I know what someone at entry level thinks, but what a leadership thinks differently, right? So you need to see how do you match that, right? So I think on the skill wise, I think Vijender talked about it anyway, but I'll still talk about it. I think there are different tracks on AI in terms of data engineering, data science, and AI engineering, ML ops, and all that. So you can choose what you want to do, right? But there are some very, very basics, right? One is a skill, and second is a proof of your work. So I think just an example, last month, we were hiring a 4-year full stack developer for an AI company. So I've been searching for the full stack developer. I'm sending the resumes. And then the engineering head said, hey, can you ask them to send their GitHub profile as well? Okay, he was actually not shortlisting from the resume. He's shortlisting the people from GitHub profile. Okay, and where it started with the 4 years or 5 years experience full stack developer, the company ended up hiring someone with a 1-year experience. Okay, because the GitHub profile was very, very strong.
Yeah.
So proof of your work is very important. Think like this. So if I'm a recruiter, I go to Naukri.com, for example, it's a job site which most of you know, or I come to LinkedIn, or I'll post. For example, tomorrow I post, okay, I'm hiring freshers. Imagine the lakhs of applications I will receive. Lakhs. I'm not even talking about thousands, right? So many applications. So how you stand out? is something you need to think about it, right? If I put an engineering AI guy, you will see that itself takes like 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, I don't know how many resumes. So how do we filter this out, right? Obviously, the companies are now using AI-specific applicant tracking systems. Once all of you upload the resumes, AI is automatically shortlisting based on your projects, based on what you keep in the resume, and what is your evidence of the work. So think in a lens that why somebody should hire you, right? It's not about a great resume. Great resume is good, definitely a clean resume, but evidence of your work, especially if you are a fresher, entry level guy. If you are a senior, I think you should have. I think it goes without saying that you should have a great GitHub profile. Okay, but if you're an entry level guy, you should definitely take it seriously. Pick up. I think Vijay did talk about it, but I'll mention again. Pick up a real world problems. Now, the other example I'll give you. So we were helping one biotech firm. They are more into personalized drug discovery. Okay, so they have this people PhD from Harvard and Stanford and all that. So one articulation they gave it to me is, we need someone who would have solved a data science guy or an AI guy who solved the real world problems. We don't need someone who would have worked on a simulation data. Okay, so make sure you pick up anything, whether it's a sales or any field, even if it is a pharma. Pick up something and solve the real world problems. Pick up a smaller one and do it. So you should always have this in mind that anything you want to do in real life, for example, let's say you want to book a ticket, a movie ticket. Okay, how AI will do it? So the first thing you should come in your mind is how I can do this thing using an AI, right? Now you want to go to a movies one, then maybe you want to, let's say your society has some application, my data, a lot of, right? Now you are manually going and allowing someone inside your community. How can you do it without your intervention? Just how can AI will do it? I'm just giving an example. It could be anything, broader example, right? So think anything you want to do you're doing right now, you want to do, think AI first. Okay. So if you keep thinking in those directions, you will automatically get the projects. For that, you need to know the base of an AI or some bit of training, which I think Vijender and Dean is training, I believe, right? A lot of them. So agentic AI has come. Now, I was talking to a friend who's a project manager, program manager in a company. So he said, hey, you know what? This weekend I spent time in building an agentic AI. He said, what it does? So basically, the program manager is, there is a meeting. So all these 20 developers come into a room, war room, and they talk about, okay, he assigns the work. Basically, you do this, you do this, you do this. Maybe deadline to close this is maybe 2 days or 3 days. Okay. And this is how you report. And again, they do again a stand up after 2 days or 3 days. They do this. This is very common practice in corporate. Now he built a agentic AI model, which is easy to build. Actually, you can just build like quite easily. Okay, just that people are not experimenting. So he said, I built this, so the AI agentic AI will automatically assign the work to the developers. We'll have a meeting, but my AI model will automatically assign, and it automatically takes the status from them. Then if someone is off the track, it automatically sends the message that, what is the justification it is not done. And it automatically blocks the calendar for a meeting. What is the reason? So that I directly just jump into the meeting and AI will automatically show that this developer hasn't done this and this is the reason. So you'll have a very focused conversation of 10-15 minutes and close. Now imagine in our typical world, the same thing. It takes like enormous amount of time and energy and man hours. It takes like more than so many hours getting everyone together into the room, keep talking, keep tracking.
Yeah.
You don't need 10 program managers. All that you need is one program manager with one agentic AI. Okay, and this is not difficult to build. By the way, maybe it is easy. You just need to think the use cases. You keep thinking it and pushing it. I forgot the name. So there is a guy in Delhi. He's just a fresher, college pass out. So ChatGPT keep releasing the models. He keep building some of this stuff. So he works with some sales company. He works with this company, that company, building small applications and selling them. And trust me, he made in millions. I'm talking about a college fresher who just passed out from the college. Okay, and
so Shravan, sorry to interrupt. Can you repeat that again? What did you build?
so okay, so now for example, I think some of this, most of them may not understand it. For example, building an apps could be one thing.
Yeah.
Then there are companies who invest a lot on GTM, go-to-market strategy in sales.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of it he automated and using an AI. It is not that difficult, right? You need a time and energy and bandwidth, and you should keep thinking about use cases. That is something which is required. And most importantly, if you're, we are all active on social media. Okay. So LinkedIn is not just a social media, right? You have so many, we use Instagram, we use this and that, right? So anytime you're accessing any social media, think of how anything product you're building, think of, okay, how easy it is to use Instagram. No one gave us the training of Instagram, but we just use it better.
Yeah.
Some products are very difficult, right? You need a training. Companies actually set up a demo to go through that product. Instagram, everyone uses Instagram without a training. So, when you're building a product like this, think like this. Okay, how someone can easily do it. Be active on social media, be it a LinkedIn, be it a Twitter and Reddit. Lot of founders use Twitter a lot. Lot of them use Reddit a lot, use Discord. Okay. So actively engage because founders are actually using outside LinkedIn, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, and all of them. Please go and use them. Okay.
Shravan, sorry to interrupt again. Just a quick question, thought which came before I forget. I hear a lot of developers saying, if I could contribute in open source and I'm active there, is there any chance I can get opportunities for placements? Because I hear this a lot, but how real is it? Do people really get jobs if they contribute open source projects, good projects?
Yeah, see, you're actually doing a great work, but it's like company, right? If, for example, how do I say? There's a company called Dynamics in Bangalore. Okay, I think there's a company acquired them as well. Until a big company acquired, nobody knows there is something called Dynamics exist. Okay.
Okay.
Now the same applies to you and I. You're doing a great job, but how do you tell the world that you're doing a great job?
Okay.
Right. Be active on Twitter. Be active on Reddit. Use constructively. Don't get into anything outside what your goal is. So you should have a great Twitter profile and making sure you connect with the founders, post your content, what you're building today. Okay. So every week you introspect what you have built that week. Keep posting on Twitter, keep posting and just share it. And you have even if you look at the community, maybe 18, 20 people here who join, it's still a great way to amplify the content, what you're posting online. So you just need to support because I'm assuming a lot of you are looking out for a job. So it helps. And the most importantly, if you're coming from one community, and that is on social media, a great resume, I think is definitely required. Great GitHub profile, evidence of work on real world problems. There is no depth of the real world problems. Okay. You can solve anything. Building a simple chatbot for a pizza store is still a great way of telling that you have done this. People will appreciate. Okay. So there is nothing a smaller problem or greater problem. Start small. That's okay. Okay. You will learn. Like Vijender said, keep participating in hackathons. Maybe 20 hackathons you may not do well. 21st one you will 100% do well. Okay. What will happen is when you keep going and meeting up, be part of hackathons and meetups, you'll also see the world, what is happening, who's building what, where do you stand actually in the competition. So it takes time maybe to be successful, but that's okay. Initial failures are okay. It's all accepted, right? We don't learn from the day one, right? first month, second month, third month, you keep attending 20, 30 hackathons, one day you will crack it. There is no doubt about it. But you will know some connects that may get you placed. Okay. So, and be serious about what you're doing, right? So, for example, whether you're learning AI, whether you're doing real world business cases, use cases, or anything, be serious about your career. When you go to a conversation, make sure you're really confident when you speak. Sometimes when you get an opportunity, I see a lot of them, Vijender, that people, that's great, Saloni. People miss the, what do you say? They're not confident in the interview. They just came unprepared. Don't go anywhere unprepared. This is, someone at my level or which is the level may afford it. Even we don't afford it. But at your experience level, being prepared is very, very important. See, we have a meeting today. I think just a friendly chit chat to help you guys. Actually, this whole conversation is for you guys. None of you are on a video. Okay. So we are trying to see how do we help. Vijender was well settled in his life. I'm well settled in my life in Bangalore, working with the founders. We are trying to see how do we help the people who are actually struggling. None of you are on a video, right? So be prepared, be serious about what you're trying to do. Okay. We'll get to that, Saloni. I'll come to that. Okay. So that is another one. Okay, and yeah, some of the job boards you be active outside the Twitter and GitHub, and where you need to build and constantly do it. You should do day in, day out. It's not about 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. You should do continuously throughout your career. Okay. There is another company, other job board called AngelList, which is Naval Hurricane, company. I think now they've changed the company. This thing, I'll just go in. AngelList is now well-found. Okay, so usually this wellfound.com, I think this is usually used by startups. I myself hired, I don't know, a lot of them from this. It's just a free for, most of it is like a free for the companies. So people just post it there.
So sorry to interrupt, Shravan. Could you post it, or that link on the chat?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if everybody follows. That includes me. Yeah. So yeah, one is well found. Okay, I think is that the other one is the AngelList. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So AngelList has been renamed as
well found. Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm posting another one.
Yeah, it's formally AngelList. Okay. So you're saying you kind of get some of your profiles from here. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I hired a lot of them from this.
Okay. Just it's similar to Naukri, or how is it anything different from?
Yeah. So basically, it is popularized among startups, actually.
Okay. So mainly startups look for talent from here.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Okay. And then I think I don't know if you guys know Y Combinator. Okay. Right. Y Combinator. Every month beginning there is a thread. Okay, which starts for the companies who are hiring, for the people who are looking for jobs. There are different threads in the beginning of the month. Okay. Now I think that gets closed after 3, 4 days or 5 days, I believe, based on how many people are actually posting. So there are different threads. For job something, and somebody who wants to post their resume is one. There is something like hire me. There is a separate thread for that. For hire me, I'll just research that specific thread, or you can just Google it, you will get it. So in hire me, what people do is they just post, okay, hey, I have this experience, and I'm looking for a job. And they post their resume. I myself contact a lot of them. And in fact, I'm surprised that their resumes are much better than 10-year experienced candidates. And when I went into their resumes, they are just 3 years finished in engineering. They're still in the final year of engineering. Okay. A lot of them don't even know Y Combinator exists at entry level. And these people are, I'm talking about, third year engineering, fourth year engineering, doing a lot of projects. I even talk about there is a guy who used to stay in some remote village in Punjab. He works from that village even today after 10 years for a German company, Canadian company, and he's paid in dollars and not even in Indian salary. Okay. So how I just asked, how did you get it? He's just active, right? He's just active in most of the groups. He's building something, pushing there. He's building something, pushing there. So one way of doing it is you keep applying and pray for it. The other way of doing it is you keep making sure you're really, really good in what you're doing. Build something, keep pushing. The people will reach out to you. Okay. Do a lot of internships, I suggest. Forget about money. Don't worry about money because you just need to make sure that you actually have a proof of work and you build your network and all that. It's good. I think I think the old days of unpaid internship is over, but don't bother about all that unless you are seriously in need of money. Right? Do a lot of internship is my suggestion because you never know. Sometimes, at least 80% of the times, if you are a great intern, companies do hire you full timer. It happens most of the times. Very few times, if company is not doing well, they say, okay, we are done with it. But at least in this whole internship, you will end up making a good network of senior people. So someone will help you there. Okay. So do internship and go to office. This remote working, okay, I'll come 1 day, 2 days, that's okay. I mean, if you're getting it. But my recommendation is go to office. I think, I believe a lot of you from high-tech city or Delhi or whatever, be part of that place where there are companies and go meet, part of the meetups. There are a lot of AI meetups are happening. Okay. Go there, open source meetups are happening. Go attend every weekend you attend. Okay. And you be part of, for women, there are a lot of diversity groups. I think Saloni, this maybe or any woman in this group, right? There are groups like Women Who Code. Okay. I can type here. Okay.
So is this a Women in Code? Is it a WhatsApp group or what is it? Shravan?
Okay, so Women Who Code and Lean In is actually Sheryl Sandberg organization, ex-Facebook COO. She started this in US. Women Who Code and Girls in Tech, these are all like US-based, women-only specific tech communities. These are actually started to help the girls or women to do well in the tech. Okay. There is another, I don't know if you guys know, I think if you're a woman, you should go here. A GHCI called Grace Hopper Conference of India. This happens in Bangalore mostly, but you take your time and be part of it. So GHCI is like this event is sponsored by Google and Facebook and all these big companies. Almost every company in India comes to this conference. For 3 days, they'll be there. Like you see in the exhibition, they have stalls and there are free goodies giving into them. Goodies, I'm talking about Alexa and all this device. I'm not talking about some pen pencil, very expensive. But more than anything, the real ROI of these Grace Hopper Conference of India is if you are a woman or a girl, this will help you to get a job quickly because almost every company wants to hire. Okay. I don't know if it is happening this year or finished, but you can Google and find out there's a website and there are dates. Girls in Tech, Lean In, Women Who Code, they have individual chapters of the individual cities. For example, Delhi has one chapter, Hyderabad has a chapter, Bangalore has a chapter. A chapter in the sense it's a group of people together. Right. So what do? They meet on a weekend, like Saturday or Sunday as a meetup. They talk about the challenges or what are the different things coming up. How do they help? So if women or girls in the tech, okay, in AI, so you be part of it. They keep posting these meetups. Go there, meet. These are very senior people. By the way, somebody could be the director of engineering of a company. Okay, I think what I remember last, the lean in Bangalore, I think there's a lady from Cisco, head of director engineering, she heads this. So they keep running it. So be part of this. Individual cities have it. Google it. You can go join, be part of it. Hyderabad, I don't know if they don't have, maybe Vijender, I think one of your team members can start this in Hyderabad, host the meetups in Hyderabad office. It's a good community to build in, to support. Okay. Um, but yeah, I think well found, Y Combinator, women of gold, leading girls in tech, GSCI, and you're going to use a lot of social media. So make sure that you push, you present yourself. Basically, you're not just presenting in interview, you're presenting yourself on Twitter. Now you see that Trump is saying that US will watch your social media to give a visa. I think most of us know this, right? You need to declare your social media handles while you go for visa, right? So why, right? It actually represents you, your thought process, what you do, right? So present yourself on Twitter, LinkedIn, and all this. Great content and start. Initially nobody will like our post. That's okay, right? So we're gonna request our friends over the time, 1 month, 2 months, it will build up. Don't worry about all that. Okay, build a quality content. Okay, I think this will help, but I think there are a few questions I just want to address. I think we are almost 12. I'll go one by one. Career for fresher. I have a good knowledge, experience on SAP module. Okay, someone asked an SAP module. Okay, see, I think what we know, SAP is an enterprise software, right? And even an SAP is moving towards an AI. Right, and you will rarely see. I mean, if you get a chance, maybe just search that employability of a fresher in SAP. Okay. Other than enterprise companies, do you see any startups using SAP or any mid-sized companies using SAP now? I was part of Geo, so Reliance was biggest customer for SAP. If you go to Wikipedia, SAP, you see Reliance as one of the biggest customer. Like that, there are big enterprises are using, but how many big enterprises will hire you as a fresher is a question. So whenever we do things as a fresher, you look at what is the maximum possibility. Okay, if you pick up something, you should do something where there are a lot of opportunities, so it's easy for you to get it. Don't do something which has a very narrow scope and most of it is dependent on, okay, whether it happened or not, it is good, somebody is doing, so I will do. So don't plan like that. I won't say SAP is bad or Python is good. I'm not saying that. All that I'm saying is because now a lot of startups are coming, a lot of AI startups are coming, a lot of mid-sized companies are coming. For if you learn Python and AI, it's easy to get in there, right? But if you know someone in SAP where you think that you have a reference, you can get a job easily, maybe try that out. Now, how to build a resume, can get into an MNC, okay. There are a few more questions. Skills required, data science job, impress. Okay, I think how do I get into data engineering? How do I get started in Gen 1 year project? Okay, so I think most of the question is how do we get a job? I think that's what it looks like, the bottom line. Okay, whether you talk about MNC or how do you impress an interviewer? You impress an interviewer. I think that's one question someone asked. Like you said, be prepared always, right? Right? Steve Jobs, there is always a narrative on social media. Steve Jobs used to prepare, there is an Apple announcements. He used to do the products. He used to rehearse for a week, at least once or twice before he used to come on the stage and talk about it. Okay. Imagine if Steve Jobs can do, I think we all can do.
Yeah.
So prepare well. Anywhere you're going, anyone you're meeting in corporate. So people also should get confidence by talking to you that, okay, he's a guy who can do. Okay. So don't randomly just go and meet, say hi. Sound confident when you meet someone. Ask questions. Ask genuine questions. Don't randomly ask. ask something which is helpful to you. Don't hesitate to ask. Okay, I think that is something I can tell you guys. Imagine even I'm running a company. If I ask 20 people, maybe 2 respond, but that's okay. But at least I'm asking. Okay, so don't worry about asking the people. Okay, ask what help you need, and if you want to build something, ask Vijender. I think he's running an organization on AI. You want to build something, how do I do it? Where should I start? I'm sure that he has a lot of use cases. Uh, he will help you. So yeah, I think that is something impressing an interview. Just making sure you research about the company, what the company is doing. All this you can have a tip of your fingers now using AI. Even Claude or anything you can use in 1 minute. You get entire company information.